Welcome to the Nadex Morning Market Update. My name is Todd Rich. I am Head of Education over at Nadex. With me is Brian Caprice from Keep Trading Simple. We are going to take a look at what's happened in the markets over the evening and maybe identify some hot spots that you might want to be paying attention to in the markets today. Before I get into that, I do have to run through with you this trading disclaimer. This is brought to you by our compliance department, and that trading on Nadex does indeed involve risk. Any trading decisions you make are solely your own responsibility and are at your own risk. And then I do want to emphasize this is an educational session. None of the things that Brian or myself say or show you today should be construed as a buy or sell recommendation. It's strictly for educational purposes only, but we do like to provide you with some interesting market commentary. With that, let me go ahead and bring on our guest, Brian Caprice. Brian, let's. I just popped you up there.
Okay.
Well, what is it you want to take a look at today?
Sure. A couple different things are kind of piquing my interest today. Obviously, we've had a lot of movement back and forth with the election. This week, obviously, another big headline out there is going to be Brexit. It's something we've been talking about for, at this point, years. But there is, last week, there was a lot of comments about how early November they would finally come up to some type of an agreement. I don't know. Do you have my chart up right now? If you could pop my chart up real fast.
I do. There we go.
There we go. Perfect. So what I'm looking for here is its current placement right now. This is a 4-hour chart. It's a little bit of a higher time frame than many people look at for intraday trading, but it's one that I use looking for what I would call like rock solid levels. And when I say rock solid, obviously there's no guarantees in the market. But what I find is the higher the time frame, the better the established level, the ability for it to kind of handle high impact news is increased. Okay, so yeah, we're right now, again, you guys know the curve. We're sitting right in the middle. We're kind of in that no man's land, at least on a 4-hour time frame. But I'm looking for areas high and low from where we currently are. So you guys can see, if you can see my cursor moving up top, I'll put it to the side over here. But the area between 131.46 and 131.91 is an area where we've hit it. We've had a very strong push in and kind of a push out, and then obviously a spike in and a little bit of a front run to that area with kind of the election news. Now, what this is this would be pound strength, dollar weakness. Part of the indecision right now is, again, due to the election and things like that. But we have news coming up in a few days with non-farm payroll. Besides an interest rate cut, it's considered the largest and most important of all economic news releases. Being in the middle right now, again, the market will kind of make up its mind, and we can have a catalyst of, Brexit coming to fruition, boom, it pops up. We could have it grind slowly above and have it be very bad non-farm payroll data, which, again, if you look at the data we've seen thus far this week with the employment data that we had just basically an hour ago, was not good. It came in half as expected as far as new jobs created. So, again, that could foreshadow where we're going to kind of move. So that could give us a kind of a great option later in the week at this 131.48 to 131.85, and vice versa if we start seeing dollar strength coming back into the market. And again, where would that come from? More certainty and understanding of what's happening with the election as we continue to push lower. This 128.54 could provide an interesting opportunity with a rather small stop loss, but still give us the ability that if Brexit comes through in the next few days, this could be a launching point to punch this much, much higher. So a couple different things are playing into this. Knockouts could be used, again, give us the greatest duration. Binaries, again, binaries giving us that extra protection with, again, only being able to lose what we put into it, but not having that knockout feature. So again, could be an election result, could be Brexit, could also be two levels that could step into non-farm payroll on Friday.
Excellent. So let's do a quick little check over on the Nadex platform. Just to kind of see some of those levels you were looking at. I'm going to start with the knockouts first, and we'll take a look over here at the pound dollar. Let's bring up that chart real quickly. And you were looking at some levels, looking at some, if we were to make it up there, some resistance up at 31.45-ish range. Here, let's drop a quick
it starts at about 31.45 and goes up to about 31.91, 31.87-ish, that area.
So somewhere up in this range. So I guess if we were to actually make it up there, there is this 3185 knockout that if we were to make it and you wanted to try to take it from the short side, there might be a play
Right, and that's the
up in
extreme
here.
range of that zone. So if we can get up close, again, this is one of those ones we don't want to snipe it probably right before. But again, giving yourself a decent level of risk, and again, your 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio to target on the downside. So I mean, yeah, that one is kind of lined up really, really well.
Right. All right. And then let's just while we're here, let's take a look at the binaries over there. So let me scroll down and see what we've got going on in the binary range for the pound dollar. I'm going to go ahead and look at we'll give it the day here and see what kind of there
Yeah,
are
and
some
this
levels up in
is
there.
one of those ones that, Todd, I would also associate it with the event that you're actually kind of trading it with. Right now, we are a little bit far away from it. We have about, I don't know, about 100 pips. We're probably not going to cover 100 pips today. The
Yep.
daily ATR on this pair is about 127. So we have about 1 day's worth of movement right now on this using this larger time frame. But again, using that election spike could also lead into the retrace on that one. And again, if we're there for non-farm, that's giving us whether a target or an entry point as well. So for binary on this one, again, UK opening, US open, news are the 3 best times to be able to play this one.
Excellent. Hey, by the way, I thought you mentioned non-farm payroll. It's interesting to note that we do have binary options on these events. The non-farm payroll number is coming out soon, and if you've never seen these before, there are varying levels, and you can make a prediction. Is the number going to come in equal to or greater than one of these numbers? And the probabilities, and you can trade these binary options around that if you've got a differing opinion on whether you think the number is going to come in higher or lower. All right, I think we've got a little bit more time. Let's let's bring up another.
I do. I actually have an indice that is moving quite a lot this morning that I think could also provide opportunity. The
Excellent.
S&P. Everybody knows what the S&P 500 is. It's SPY if you're in the options realm trading. One of the more popular, I'd say, indices to trade. Well, it's been on a tear today, and again, this tear in the last 4 hours, and again, dropping it down to a little bit of a lower time frame to give you guys a better visual. You can see pretty much all morning since the open has been straight up. Now, this is one of those things that a lot of the experts out there kind of have varying opinions on. Trump is considered pro stock market. Biden is considered more anti stock market. They're talking about raising capital gains back up to prior levels, maybe even higher. Not necessarily considered pro, because again, remember, the stock market and the economy are completely different entities. But with this rallying, again, this is a very, very kind of fast movement up. And all we've heard this morning is more of kind of a Biden victory being more likely. So again, emotional response up, coming up to a level that we've seen sellers step in the past. You can see over here, and again, there's a couple different levels up here, but the last time the price was here, not only did it have a harder time going higher, but then created kind of a failure to go higher situation where sellers stepped in. And when they stepped in, it was 12 hours of straight down. Very emotional, very strong movement to the downside. And you can see, this is the largest candle on this entire chart. This is a lot of movement, in very, very, very short period of time. From 1400 all the way up to, I'm sorry, not 1400, 3400 all the way up to 3485 in such a small amount of time. Typically, again, is a sell. For me, it's one of those things that I'm looking to sell. In addition to that, it also is in the very, very extreme ranges of what my daily curve is listed out to be. And right now, I kind of have this one bracketed, this 3,500-ish number, coming down to the 32, 38 number. Either way, I think there's decent levels of buys and sells. With this rally up as well, again, I mentioned non-farm just a little bit ago. If this is able to come up as we start going into kind of the Thursday time frame, being up here and leading into non-farm, if that non-farm number is negative, that would also be another kind of tip in the hat over here of this one kind of rolling and coming back down to the 32, 38 range. So again, looking for the proper signals, you guys can drop down to 30 minutes and look for it. But the 3,500 number right here is kind of a, not only a psychological level in trading because it'll end in a 00, but also something on the chart where we've seen sellers take a big kind of step into the market here and throw their weight around.
Yeah, that is rather interesting. Those numbers often do become very psychological. In fact, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the S&P here. I'm just gonna get this knockout chart right. I mean, we're seeing this. I mean, we're seeing the same thing on the levels that you've seen, and we are seeing this incredible run up. Um, yeah, and 3,500 does tend to be a very, it becomes a psychological level. I don't know, if someone wanted to, tempt fate, so close with the 3507 ceiling on this particular knockout. Maybe you want to give yourself a little bit of potential room up at 3517, but there might be an opportunity up there for where the buyers run out of steam, and there might be
Yeah,
that
and what
that
I
sort
would
of
say is
opportunity.
watch it kind of come up. It will stall, and when it stalls in bases, that should help provide where your kind of risk level is. And then again, as it pulls back to that range, would be kind of where I'd pull the trigger on that one. But again, you got to see the right candles, the right formation up there to be able to get that in.
Yeah, definitely some
Heading to the
great
right.
analysis, gives everyone something to look at for today. For the markets today. Uh, I would like to mention that if you had any questions and you'd like to reach out to Nadex, please, customer service at nadex.com. We're here to help you. I would also recommend that you follow us on our different social media channels. And if you have some questions for Brian, please email him, support@keeptradingsimple.com. With that, want to thank everyone for joining us today, and would like to wish you all good luck in the markets.
So you forgot the disclaimer slide and the other slide.
And by the way, for those of you who missed it, I forgot to share this particular slide, which we are going to get better at as I talk about how you can contact us at customer service at nadex.com or Brian at Keep Trading Simple. And the disclaimer slide. So I will get better on that at
I
the
feel like
end.
you should almost, like I said, I feel like you should. I don't know if this has it or not, where you can do different